Are you wondering all about the price of Bitcoin, whether you should buy it, whether you should sell it? What is Bitcoin? What is this cryptocurrency that everyone keeps talking about? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be explaining to you about cryptocurrency and my thoughts and opinions on Bitcoin. It is no denying that throughout 2021 and of course in 2020, Bitcoin has been at the hot topic of so many sectors, especially for the talk of investors. Bitcoin did reach all-time highs in this year in 2021, and it has since come back down in price to about $30,000 off its all-time highs of $40,000. But the question is, with 50% of people thinking that Bitcoin is a scam and the other thinking that it's going to be an absolute asset and you must throw all of your life savings into it, otherwise you're going to lose out and you'll never have a chance at being a millionaire. Well, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about all of that and giving my reason as to why I feel like Bitcoin in the future is going to move upwards in price. You do not want to miss this video. Stick around. Hi, my name's Jason, and on this channel we talk all about finance. If you haven't subscribed already, then do be sure to join the family of investors by clicking that big red subscribe button below. It is free and you'll never miss an episode, and I'd love to have you on this journey with me. And if at any point throughout this video you do find value, then be sure to give it a big fat like for the YouTube algorithm. And if I do get more than 100 likes in this video today, then I'll be making a separate video all about how to buy cryptocurrency, because I'm not going to go into that in this video. But if you would like to purchase some Bitcoin safely, because that is the one thing that we must remember, because it is a digital asset, it is all done online. Now, there are a lot of scams out there, so I do want to make you aware. If anyone at any point ever tries to pretend to be me in the comments asking for a number for you through WhatsApp to contact them because they're going to pay you in millions of pounds of Bitcoin, then just absolutely ignore it. It is not me at all, and I will report those because they are scammers. Unfortunately, YouTube does have them, so it's just something to be aware of as we are talking about Bitcoin in this video. So what is cryptocurrency? In order to understand Bitcoin, we must first ask the question, what is cryptocurrency? So cryptocurrency is a type of digital currency. Bitcoin was actually made because it was going to be a universal, decentralized digital currency. So what does decentralized currency mean?
I'm so damn confused. What are you talking about?
Well, it means that it was going to be controlled by the people, and the asset itself, Bitcoin, was not going to be controlled by, say, one government where they can control the price by printing money. Because, of course, as we have seen throughout the year of 2020, interest rates have gone down because of the fact of COVID. But we have seen the Fed have their money gone, and they have been continually printing money into the dollar. And that is what we are going to see over time. We're going to see a deflation on the effects of the dollar. Now, Bitcoin is actually set. There are 21 million Bitcoins in the world. So no government can control it by printing more Bitcoins, essentially like we have been printing money with the dollar. This means that as inflation goes down or inflation goes up, then we can hedge our money into assets such as gold and silver because they are stable assets and there is a set amount that cannot be changed. This is exactly the same for Bitcoin because it is a set amount. People like to hedge their wealth into Bitcoin because as inflation goes up and the dollar goes down and loses value because people are printing money like the Fed, which is going to decrease the value of the dollar because of inflation over time, that means that we can expect to see the rise of the price in Bitcoin because it is more like a stable asset. And so this is why so many people have become so involved with Bitcoin. And of course, we did see a big correction in the markets in 2017 when Bitcoin crashed down to all-time lows. And since then, it's not just been retail investors that have been buying into Bitcoin. Now, essentially, a lot of retail investors in 2017 were investing in Bitcoin. Retail investors are people like me and you, everyday people, perhaps with smaller amounts of capital that are investing their money, which accumulates over a very long time to a lot of people into a small compound average against obviously big institutions, banks, governments, and hedge funds where they have billions and billions of dollars and they're pouring that money into Bitcoin. So the reason why Bitcoin crashed in 2017 was because a lot of retail investors were trading Bitcoin and institutions were not trading in Bitcoin. This is why we saw a big surge in price, and then when it started to pull back down, everyone got FOMO. People were scared of the markets because obviously Bitcoin was crashing, so people were pulling out their money, and that is why we saw a crash. But since then, Bitcoin has stabilized for about 2 to 3 years, and in 2020 we have started to see that lovely increase on a graph, which I'll bring up now for you, and you can see that the price of Bitcoin is rising. Now, why is it increasing at such a lovely rate compared to in 2017? Well, this is because institutions and big hedge funds are actually starting to get involved with Bitcoin, and we have seen time and time again that as these large institutions have started to convert a portion of their balance sheets, say 1 to 5% of their balance sheets, companies like Square, for example, and PayPal, what they've done is they've converted a portion of their balance sheet into Bitcoin to hedge their money against inflation. Now, this is really clever because as the price of Bitcoin has been rising, they've actually been increasing in wealth. But of course, not everyone is involved because a lot of people still think it's a scam. But as we see this mainstream adoption into Bitcoin coming forward into the next decade, I do feel that a lot more companies are going to get involved. And that is why I would like to play this clip right now by Cathie Wood.
Bitcoin, more in the fintech realm. We are seeing corporations, we didn't expect this, we expected institutional interest, but we didn't expect corporations to substitute Bitcoin for cash. MicroStrategy was the first. All of its cash is now in Bitcoin, and in fact, it did an offering so that it could buy more Bitcoin. This is its cash. Square has put 5% of its assets into Bitcoin, and we're seeing more mature companies like PayPal enabling the buying and selling of Bitcoin on its platform, as Cash App does as well. Well, if companies in the S&P 500 were to put 1% of their cash into Bitcoin, that would increase the price of Bitcoin by $40,000. Today, it's close to $30,000. So that's more than a double right there. If we saw 10%, of course, that would add $400,000. And I just told you, MicroStrategy has put all of its cash in. Perhaps emerging markets will be faster in terms of adoption. But we have been very surprised at how quickly this has happened in the United States. Institutions are going to have a significant impact on Bitcoin's price. So we believe that here you can see that if our analysis on how institutions will look at allocating to this space is correct, and this is using a Monte Carlo simulation, institutional involvement could increase the price of Bitcoin. Again, it's 30,000 now, by 200,000 if they want to minimize volatility, to 500,000 if they want to maximize their Sharpe ratios.
Now, the one thing that I would love to say about Bitcoin is the fact that Bitcoin is extremely volatile. So if someone hasn't told you that Bitcoin is not a risk, then they would be lying to you. Bitcoin does actually move up and down every single day, roughly anywhere between 2% and 15 to 20% a day. So we can really see that sometimes Bitcoin does jump up and it jumps down at the same time. So this is something to be aware of. If you are going to invest in Bitcoin and you want to look into how to get started with Bitcoin investing, then you need to know that you have to be able to stomach volatility, because it is a very risky asset and it is extremely volatile. So that price does move up and down. So that's something I do want to bring to your attention. Now, my thoughts in Bitcoin is that I do believe that the price of Bitcoin is going to rise as inflation starts to go back up and we do see more normal levels stabilize once this pandemic is over. Now, I believe that Bitcoin will in the future reach a price beyond 150,000 to 250,000 pounds per price of Bitcoin, and with the current price currently sitting at around $30,000, that is a really, really lovely, generous, handsome payment into my bank account if I was going to buy one Bitcoin today and expect to see a return of maybe 6x, because Bitcoin is going to go to, say, £200,000 in, say, 5 to 7 years. So this is why so many people have been buying Bitcoin, because as we've seen this large mainstream adoption into Bitcoin, we've seen a lot of different hedge funds and institutions start to pile their money in. And as Cathie Wood said, if all of the S&P 500 converted 5 to 10% of their balance sheets into Bitcoin and they took it out of cash, then you can imagine how much this price of Bitcoin would absolutely soar up. Now, Cathie Wood is one of my favorite investors of all time. I bring her up in almost every single one of my videos. Cathie Wood has had one of the most incredible years of success, and she is at the peak of her career. She is doing extremely well with 5 ETFs on the market, with every single ETF seeing a return of almost and over 100% in the last 12 months alone. So of course I have a lot of conviction for Cathie Wood. I do feel like she is the new Warren Buffett, and I really trust all of her judgment on what she says, because she is innovating and disrupting the world in which we live today. So the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is written by Robert Kiyosaki, is actually available on YouTube to listen to. Now, this is an incredible book, and Robert Kiyosaki is actually a former billionaire. He's done so well with his investments, and this is his belief in why Bitcoin is going to soar in the future. So I'm just going to play you that clip here right now.
I don't save dollars because I don't trust the US dollar. And I just save gold and silver and recently Bitcoin. And the reason is because of 1971, when Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard the dollar became fake. So now that COVID has hit and they printed more money in 2020 than they did in the first 200 years of our country. And still people are saving dollars. You should be buying some gold, some silver, and if you can afford it, Bitcoin. But the average person has been conditioned to think about paper, fake money, fake dollars. At the same time, they're printing as much money as they possibly can. They give it to their rich friends. They don't give it to us. And then they print it and interest rates keep going down. So in 1974, when I got out of the Marine Corps, if I had $1 million, which I didn't, I could put $1 million in 74 into a savings and loan, a bank, in a certificate of deposit, and they would pay me 15% on my $1 million. So a lot of people have made a lot of money. They just put their money into the bank and they're being paid 15% interest. So $1 million back in 74 was worth approximately $150,000. Now it's not a lot of money to retire on, but you could have retired on $150,000 in 1974. Today, I take $1 million into the bank, I might get 2%. So that means it went from $150,000 to $20,000. And after taxes, that $20,000 might be worth $15,000. In other words, since 1974, the US dollar has lost 90% of its value, and people still say to their kids, save money. You've got to be crazy. Right now, you should be saving gold, silver, or Bitcoin. Talk about losers. Get it through your head. They're printing it. It's getting it's worth less and less and less. Whereas Bitcoin, the thing I like about it, because the more valuable, more expensive Bitcoin gets, they print less of it. It's called a halving. So the price goes up, but the quantity comes down. And check the dollar out. The value of the dollar comes down, but they print more of it. Why would you save it? Which is better, gold or Bitcoin? Who cares? The question is, how much do you have? That's all that counts right now.
Since 1974, as Robert Kiyosaki said, the dollar has actually lost 90% of its value. So this is huge, guys. And this is why people are so bullish right now on crypto moving into the future, because as more money is printed into the economy, the value of the dollar is only going to decrease over time. And that is why people are starting to pile into Bitcoin. Now, I'm not telling you to buy Bitcoin. I'm just giving you my bull thesis onto why I'm actually moving 10% of my portfolio into Bitcoin, because I am very bullish that in the long run, this is going to be a great investment for the future to hedge me against inflation. And of course, as we have been seeing, this is a really, really hyped up, popular area. Crypto is very, very hyped right now, and I feel like it's only going to get more hyped. And imagine what would happen if we do see that conversion of large institutions start to pile this money into the crypto space, and we do see that universal use of the cryptocurrency of Bitcoin. And of course, you should know that Bitcoin is the #1 crypto asset. Why is that? Well, because it was one of the first cryptocurrencies made, and it has since had that mainstream adoption, and it does seem to be the #1 asset in the crypto space because of that reason, which is why it does have such a high price affiliated with it. And if it was going to go away, then I do believe that after that crash in 2017, that is when Bitcoin would have completely stopped, and we would not be having Bitcoin in our societies anymore. And it has actually managed to stabilize since then, and it has started its rebirth, and people are now starting to accept it into society. And I think it will only grow as people start to accept it more and more, and that is why Bitcoin, I believe, in the future is going to be a great investment to hold inside your portfolio. So I'm going to be putting some of my money away for a long time and holding Bitcoin. Again, if you would like to have a video that I can make for you on how to buy Bitcoin safely, then do be sure to smash that like button below. I really do appreciate it, and if I do get over 100 likes, as I said at the start of the video, then I will make that video for you guys. I hope that you did find a lot of value in today's video. If you did, then make sure to subscribe to this family on YouTube. Whatever you do, have a great week ahead, and I look forward to seeing you back on my channel soon for some more content on investing. Take care, and I'll see you guys soon. Let's go make some money.